A 5-goal thriller, 1-3-2 by Chelsea. A really important 3 points as they remain in 11th place in the league. But it was important with wins this weekend and points being picked up by the likes of Man United and Brighton, who they are, essentially trying to hunt down, that they grabbed all 3 points. They have that game in hand. Chelsea, as they sit on 39 points, that could take them on to 42, which should push them as high, depending on goal difference, of 8 in the league. But it was an entertaining game, nevertheless. I enjoyed it thoroughly. It was a little bit of there's a film from back in the day, a Western called The Good, the Bad, the Ugly. And you saw so much of that tonight from both of these teams. The good, some of the goals we saw tonight were absolutely majestic from both sides, and we'll get into them. The bad, some of the sloppy defending from both teams, and the ugly, some of the midfield play from both Newcastle United and Chelsea. From when you look at the midfielders they have, there's some real talent there, some real ugly elements from both teams. Both a work in progress, both nowhere near the level that they would want to be, 10th and 11th, respectively. But there were some standouts. There were some standouts tonight. Again, Cole Palmer, or AKA Cold Palmer, was nothing short of majestic on that right-hand side again tonight. 44% of all the Chelsea attacks came down that right-hand side. And he was a continuous thorn in the side of Newcastle, along with his partner in crime down there of Gusto, who I think continues to impress, especially from an offensive point of view. He's into play, his creativity, his danger. The danger he poses on that right-hand side is something that Chelsea fans have to be excited about. But Palmer stepping up again, his 11th Premier League goal of the season. I think it's 18-19 GA for him as well. I also want to give a shout out to Nico Jackson. Instrumental in the first goal. And when you see the first goal go in, almost I'll say it's in the right way. When you first see it, it looks like really poor goalkeeping. How is that relatively weak shot from Cole Palmer gone in? And it reminded me very much of the goal Rasmus Højlund scored against Luton, where in real time, you think, oh, we've got a bit lucky there. A poor shot or a deflection has taken it in. But it isn't until you watch it back in slow motion, you see the quality and the speed of brain, the speed of thought from Jackson with that little delicate flick to move the ball in a different direction, to catch Newcastle out. The ball looked like it was going wide as well, and giving this crazy stat in this game, not just Chelsea an early lead, but it's the earliest goal at home Chelsea have scored in 5 years. And 6 minutes is early in a game. But even that early, and you think over 5 years, what a shocker that Chelsea haven't scored earlier. So that element was great. And I want to shout out Mahalo Mudryk as well. So far, his 80-90 million pound move to Chelsea has been poor. Overall, it's been poor. But there's a talent in there. There's a real talented individual. Now, is he ever going to have the dribbling intricacies of a Ronaldinho or a Ryan Giggs or a Lionel Messi and Eden Hazard? No, that's not what Mahalo Mudryk is. He's got decent touch. He's got decent skill, but he is P&P. He is more of the Rashford ilk. I'm not going to say kick and go. That sounds disrespectful, but it's direct. It's power, it's pace, and drive into that box. Now, of course, there is a little bit of skill there, and he demonstrated that with his goal today. He demonstrated it with his goal today, the way in which he was able to, where he picked the ball up, how he was able to jink with it, the changing of, the balance he had to show, the low center of gravity was excellent. He rounds a goalkeeper, and he puts it away impeccably well. He really, really does. And there are some players in the Premier League who you look at, and I take Anthony at my club, Man United, as an example. There's not great skill. There's no great speed. There's no great power or acceleration. What does he have? Very little. I look at Mudryk and I see a player who has struggled in a very similar fashion to settle in England. But he has a set of attributes that are so important for Premier League football. P and P. That power and that pace. You can get a player out of him, whether it's on the counter attack or through general play. And I thought he was excellent. Really, really good when he came on, took his goal phenomenally well. And what I would probably like to see now from him is more. I want to see the manager give him more game time. I want to see the manager give him more game time. I think that is so, so important. It's so, so important indeed. It really, really is. Someone saying there he cost 100 million. No, he didn't. I'm just went on Sky's website here. Chelsea signed winger Mudryk for 88.5 million. So I said 90 million. I rounded up. It's 88.5 million pounds was that deal, according to Sky Sports, the BBC, and a few other outlets. But there we go. So anyone saying it's 100 million is not telling the truth there. You can't add 10 to 12 million pounds onto a transfer fee. So, yes, look, I thought they were very, very good tonight for Chelsea. Also, Jackson, I mentioned him earlier, very influential in Mudryk's goal with the way he picked the ball up, a lovely flick around the defender, drove, used his speed, used his power and athleticism down that left-hand side, and he comes in. The only thing I think that's a bit off-key is he gets it, but Conor Gallagher shouldn't really get an assist for that third goal. He didn't he didn't miscontrol it, but he had the ball stolen off him. But there we go. That's assist for you. Isn't it crazy? You could be brilliant and win a penalty and you don't get an assist, and then that counts as one. Although, again, I do think out of the three midfielders for Chelsea again today, Conor Gallagher was the best of the three. I thought Caicedo was okay. I thought Enzo had another exceedingly average game. So, look, I think some good points for Chelsea. There'll be some frustration from Chelsea as well, I would say. The defending on their first and second goal really wasn't at the level that they would want to be at. And I'm sure, look, someone said Enzo hate income. It's not Enzo hate. It's just I have high expectations for a player as talented as him. There was a lot of misplaced balls. Just not in the right place at the right time. And maybe it is down to the system. And I think that is definitely a part of it. Maybe it is down to the coaching. But I want to see so much more from Enzo Fernandez, not just because of his cost, but his overarching ability to boot. I just want to see him deliver in midfield how Cole Palmer is. That's what I want to see. I want to see him deliver like Cole Palmer is in his position. And I don't mean GA. I'm talking about the consistency of performance. I really want to see that from him. Gallagher and Mount don't play for Argentina. 2 years of this lad's career lying in tatters. No, they don't. I don't think either of them are good enough to play for Argentina. And that's why I don't think that Enzo is a bad player. I don't think Enzo is overhyped even so much. As in, I don't think the hype around his ability is wrong. It's either he's not being utilized right, he's not being trained correctly, or he's not being put in the right position because he just isn't influencing the game as I saw him do in the Champions League for Benfica, as I've seen him do internationally for Argentina. And I want to see more of it. And it could be down to the manager, and some Chelsea fans may think that. And I know Chelsea fans are going to defend their guy. But we have to call a spade a spade. We have to be honest. We have to be open about this. It wasn't a good performance from him. Dyke here is a Chelsea fan, says Enzo was effing dreadful. Again, uncomfortable conversations. Yeah, listen, I appreciate that. Again, I know, you're a long-standing Chelsea fan of the Terrace. I'm not hating on him. I'm just speaking as I see it. And if you do think he's good, please educate me. Tell me why you think, why my eye test is wrong. My eye test right now says there's something off-key about him. If I'm wrong, I'm so open to you explaining why. And what I will do is I'll then go and watch the games from your perspective and see if it realigns my train of thought. That's what we do here. Terry, if my club signs Guimaraes next summer, our midfield is crazy. I also wasn't that impressed. I think Bruno Guimaraes has got to leave Newcastle. I know that Newcastle fans are not going to like that. I just want to, and maybe it's if they got to change the manager, add more players. I don't know. I just look at him and think what he was looking like in his first year. He looks such a different player now, Bruno Guimaraes. I used to look at him and be like, there's a player in there. Now I'm sort of looking at him and thinking, what happened? I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they're not very good, Newcastle, at the moment at all. Sitting, 10th. That will be the biggest coupon buster of the year. I think at the start of the season, if you'd have said by game week 28, Newcastle will be 10th, I think you'd have been laughed off the internet. I think that you'd have been laughed at. Nobody would have believed you. I really thought they would go on to not a different level this year and challenge for the Premier League, but I thought they'd maintain similar qualities, strengths, been able to persevere like last year. And maybe last year was a bit of a flash in the pan season. They are on a trajectory that's going to improve. They are going to get better. They are going to invest more money over the course of time. But maybe last year was a bit of an anomaly for them, because I watched them again tonight, and so many players like Botman, who looked so good last season, looked like an average defender. I'm not even trying to hate. I'm not trying to hate him. I'm not being rude. I've also mentioned Bruno Guimaraes. I mean, we know Almiron isn't really of the standard. He's had a really good year last year, and I just watched him tonight, and I just saw it was a nothing performance. It was empty. You look at the situation with Gordon. He wasn't fit before the game. They start him. It looks a bad knee injury, and even the way the doctors were treating him on the pitch, they did something to his leg and hurt him even more. And I'm sitting there watching it, thinking, "You're mad. You're really mad." Isak, good today. I think Isak's a player that might want out of Newcastle, because although they're a team that's on the up, these footballers only have a certain time span in the game. And I look at Isak, I look at Bruno Guimaraes, and I just think, you can go somewhere better in the now. And I know that's not what Newcastle fans are going to want to hear, but it's how I feel about it. I've got to be honest. I think you need Lavia for Caicedo and move Enzo a little higher to unlock him. It's interesting you say that, but the likes of Don have said many times on the terrace that he's not a 10, he's not an attacking midfield player. So, again, I'm not saying you're wrong, AJ. I'm not saying you're wrong by any stretch of the imagination, just you see it very differently to others. People love deriding Enzo Caicedo today. But this is what happened. Listen, we've all been there, right? We've all been there and seen this. When your club spends a lot of money on a player, you want to defend them. I've actually seen a lot of call-outs this last week or so against fan channels, in particular fan channels, for criticizing players or abusing people. And I'm always against the abuse of a player or an individual. I always am. And I don't think, and there are definitely times where I've lost my temper and gone a little bit too far. There's no doubt about it. But as a general rule, I think I'm pretty respectful in terms of I'm not calling people pejoratives and nasty names. I may say someone was weak today and they're a coward because they pulled out of a tackle, or somebody showed no intelligence in their play. I don't think that's a pejorative. I think that's talking about an element of their football. It's not talking about their character off the field per se. So I get that. But I think it is wrong to not call things out as they are. And whether it's Poch is ruining Enzo or whether Enzo isn't good enough for the Premier League, Chelsea fans have got to start to have that conversation. And I'll take you back to something we learned recently as Man United fans, because Omar Barada has said this, and this is a Man City standard. Now, you'll find that this standard probably exists at all top clubs and has done for many, many a year. But he said that we had a standard at City, which is that you have 2 years. You have 2 years to show us you're of the level or you're done. And I look at that and think, well, Enzo's been here now, a season and a bit. By the end of this campaign, it's going to be a season and a half. Chelsea fans have got to have standards. You'll talk about the standards of the Roman era when it comes to your managers. Well, you've got to show exactly the same energy when it comes to your players. Now, if you think he's only looking bad because of the manager, fair enough. I'm not challenging your opinion, so please don't write that in the comments, because this isn't words for you. I'm talking to the people that think that he is a bit of a problem, but just want to stick by him until he makes it. In the Roman era, which you all hold in the highest regard and understand why. Players didn't get 2 years, 3 years, 4 years. They had to deliver, and they had to deliver quickly or they were moved on. Exactly the same as the players. And as the years have gone by, I've seen Chelsea stick with failing players too long. I've seen my club, Man United, stick with failing players too long. The clubs that get rid of their failing players quickly, or at the very least bring better in and make them fringe players, they're the ones that win things and keep improving. So I think Chelsea fans have got to be honest with themselves about their players and not just say, you know, I'm going to ride out for this guy because that's what, I don't know what you call them at your club. We call them top reds at Man United. Is it top blues? No, proper Chelsea, you say, didn't you? Just because proper Chelsea might not like it, who cares? Why are you playing up to a bunch of fools? It was 62 million plus 26 million in add-ons. Okay, but according to the BBC, those add-ons will be paid. They're fairly compulsory. So you're going to have to put that money aside. So that's going to happen. But fair enough. But even for 62 million, Mudryk has not been good enough for Chelsea. Today, wicked. Amazing when he came on. There's 62 million, 70 million, 80 million, 90 million. He hasn't been good enough. Sterling not passing across the goal was criminal. Yes, it was, maybe. I don't want to be a hypocrite here. I like players that take responsibility. But by the time he got the room to shoot, there was players on the line. You should have passed it. I agree with that one, Lee. I agree with that one, mate. Mudryk was 62 million plus add-ons could make it. Okay, fair enough. But as I say, either way round, he hadn't been good enough. Absolute chaos ball, no control at all in the game, but give the kindergartens a gold star. And I think that's a great way of looking at it. Like I said, right at the top of the show, I said today was the good, the bad, the ugly. The good was the attack. The bad was the defending for the goals you conceded. The ugly was that midfield. That midfield can't control a game. That midfield isn't controlling matches, which is Chelsea's biggest issue. You started controlling the games. I know converting chances is also been a big issue for you, but that lack of control in midfield is dangerous. Todd Bowley will find a loophole and not pay the add-ons. Maybe you will. Maybe you will. It depends, because you guys might have this kid for 8 years. He's definitely getting paid then. I know you're not saying he has been, but it's all good. It's all good. Right, I'm bringing out Strasbourg, Steve. I'm bringing out Winter Surfer to have their say on this game this evening. Welcome back, gentlemen. Winter Surfer.
Yeah.
And 3-2 victory.
Mm-hmm.
Some good goals scored, some poor goals conceded. Break down tonight from a Chelsea perspective for me.
Typical performance, I think, apart from that we finished a couple of our chances a bit more. First half was very scrappy from both sides. We got that goal from Jackson. We didn't really do anything much else in attack after that. I think Newcastle were more dangerous from free kicks all game, I think. Second half, I disagree with you. I think we controlled that midfield. The second half.
I was about to say.
I think we controlled that midfield. I think Enzo had a good second half. Mudryk came on, very good goal. But the story of the season has to be Cole Palmer. He's just there's no doubt. He's just come in and he's just been sensational again today. That goal was very good.
You'd be in big trouble without Palmer. Big trouble.
Just his overall play. But just the issue again for me, Terry, was the defending with the set pieces. Every free kick, it just looks like we might concede. I'm not even corners. I'm talking every free kick when it just floated in. I mean, Dan Burn had a few opportunities to get on the end of the ball and make it uneasy. I mean, that Jacob Murphy goal was no goalkeeper saving that. So it's like I can't even blame the defense on that. But that first goal was just a calamity. I mean, I don't know what Gusto's doing in the middle of midfield when he sort of chips it up to himself and he tries to head it. But that was again, it was a mark we put on ourselves. But listen, it was a win. We needed a win. We move on. We're 1 point closer to 40, so we're nearly safe for the season. So we still stay 11th. And we go into the Leicester game and try and get to Wembley again for a semi-final. But listen, I think it's just we've got to just take it as we can. Can I just say the atmosphere was absolutely disgraceful in that stadium tonight from the home fans. It was just an absolute disgrace. I mean, not even all this talk online about like protesting and stuff like that. It wasn't even anything like that. They were just so quiet. You could, even the Newcastle fans were quiet. And it was just the whole stadium. It was like a funeral. It was just like
English atmospheres are nothing compared to Europe.
But I'm not surprised though. And the reason why I'm not surprised is because I know you're still in the FA Cup, and maybe that'll be different. But Chelsea season's over. Newcastle season's over.
Yeah.
Man United season, in terms of the league, and probably the FA Cup, is over. And I think our fans in our heart of hearts know that. So even with good goals, the crazy thing is, what would start to make us as fans for our clubs more excited would be seeing a consistency of performance more so than just winning. As I said with Man United, if we win games at the minute, I go, great, happy days. But I'm looking at the performances, because it says performances that you're going to grow from. It's interesting you say you felt you controlled the midfield. That's your opinion, brother.
Second half.
But even then, like the overall game, Newcastle had 54% of the ball, and they had 56% of it in the second half. So for me, and they had more shots in the second half than you, and more than they had in the first half. So yeah, I think, look, what is that expression? Beauty is in the eye of the beholder, and maybe it appeared that way. But from my perspective, I look at this and it's a win. And I think Cole Palmer, I think Mudryk need huge praise. I love what Gusto's doing. But if I'm a Chelsea fan and I'm looking at this game tonight, I'm still thinking I need this manager gone in the summer.
Oh, yeah.
There just isn't.
Both managers.
There isn't a performance.
Spot on, bro. You're spot on. I don't know what you're watching, Andrew, to say that we controlled that midfield. We didn't control shit. Yeah, Gallagher was
our midfield.
We didn't control nothing. Gallagher was basically playing left wing all game, pretty much, right? And that's not even his fault. That's a clear instruction from Poch to play there, right? We had no control in that midfield. We was trying to attack them, press them from the front with Jackson and Sterling, and then Mudryk came on in the second half. It was a shit performance, bro. Like, again, individual brilliance is what saved this guy. In the first half, Gusto and Palmer, very good on that right-hand side. Enzo in the first half, shocking. Another poor performance, you know? And he wasn't even playing advanced. He was meant to be deep, picking up the ball from the defense. And he was struggling, bro. He kept, like Terry said, I was listening to what you guys were saying. He kept misplacing passes. There was one part under no pressure. He's trying to do this little flick, trying to be all cute about it. I'm looking at him like, bro, I expect more from you. Like, you're a good player. Why don't play like this? You're taking a piss out of my life. Do you know what I'm saying? So for me, that first half was not good enough, right? There was only a few players I'm looking at. Gusto was good in that first half, like I said, and Palmer was good on that right-hand side. Sterling wasn't tracking back for nothing.
Gave away the goal. Gusto gave away the goal, yeah.
I'm gonna get to that. I'm gonna get to that. I'm gonna get to that, right? It was a good goal, obviously for Palmer and Jackson, that little flick. You know, people like to bully Jackson and talk about how shit he is and whatnot. For me, he's a good player. Yeah, I can see a player in there, and he helps us play better in terms of how we play from back to front. Yeah, he's very key. I don't think it's a finished article, obviously, and we should have a striker ahead of him, but that's the onus you got to look at for bringing him in and depending on him, right? But for me, I thought he had a good game today. Yeah, but again, individual mistakes at the back. How many times am I going to talk about this? Enzo, why are you playing it across the goal, bro? You get taught from young. Don't play it across the goal. Kick it wide, bro. You're better off losing the ball wide than losing it centrally, because when you lose it centrally, that's what happens. Yeah, Gusto, I don't know what he was trying to do, trying to be all cute, you know, flicking the ball up, and then Chalobah as well. It was. You could literally play that clown music, bro. Ding 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 ding. It was like that. Do you know what I'm saying? And I see that week after week after week, bro. Individual stupid mistakes. You know what I mean? Second half, we come out. I'm seeing Gallagher left wing again, bro. What's going on? We're not getting hold of the ball in the midfield. So that's why I'm confused when you're saying that we controlled the midfield. We didn't. Individual brilliance again from Cole Palmer. Very good goal. Yeah. Very good goal to take the lead. And then Mudryk comes on. You see what I'm saying, Terry, about Mudryk? The guy will come on and play well for 5-10 minutes. The next game he gets dropped. He'll score a goal. Next game he gets dropped. And then you've got a 29-year-old that's still playing like a fucking 18-year-old, constantly starting ahead of him. This guy's been stinking out the place for weeks, and Mudryk still can't sniff a start. Do you know what I'm saying? And he's playing out of position. He's even playing central. You know, people say Mudryk hasn't got any football IQ. To play in that central position, your brain needs to be thinking quick. Yeah, and to score a goal like that, running at that speed, it was a good goal. Very good goal. I don't want to see Sterling start another game this season, because end of the day, we need to sell him in the summer. Yeah, he ain't got no future at the club. We need to just keep giving Mudryk the minutes. Keep giving him the minutes, and you will see him getting better. You know what I'm saying? That's what happened with Martinelli. That's what happened with Saka. These guys did not become the players that they are now without game time. They kept getting played by Arteta. Yeah, there's an argument for Saka being overplayed, but he got to where he is because he kept getting played and getting the minutes. Do you know what I'm saying? So for me, Mudryk has to keep starting now. Sterling cannot be in the 11. I'm sorry, his time's done.
Terrible.
His time is done.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, this manager still got to go because it is not good enough. Yeah, these sort of performances are not sustainable. They are really not sustainable, bruv. A better team today beat us. They beat us. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't good enough. There was no control in the game. Again, individual brilliance. It is not good enough, bro.
I hear where you're coming from completely there. We have some super chats I want to do quickly. Well, actually, no, this one's for me. It says, Terry, have you seen enough from Garnacho to keep him after a season and a bit? Surely Man United need to uphold their standards too. It's a great challenge to what I said, but remember what I said at the beginning. If you believe that Enzo's lack of control and performances are purely because of the system and the manager is setting up and how he's being coached, then I wasn't talking to you. If you listen to what I've said about Garnacho, I want to see him improve. But my feeling is with how poorly we've been run, who's coaching our club and the style of play we're trying to get out, people like him are suffering the same as everybody that's gone backwards. So I want those standards to exist, but it has to be in an environment. Now, there are lots of Chelsea fans who say that he has been playing well, Enzo, and that it isn't to do with the manager's systems. They deny that he's played poorly. But I was sitting there and saying that Garnacho's fine. There's not, or I was backing the manager like certain Chelsea fans do. If I was backing the manager like certain Man United fans do, then I think your challenge would apply to me. But I sit in the realm of thinking, and listen, like I've said, I think when it comes to Enzo, it could very much be the manager. If that's what you believe in, fair play. I think the same with Garnacho, to be fair. But great challenge there, Blaze. I like that. Steve. Newcastle, bruv. Champions League qualifying team last year. This season, I'm not going to quite say it's as bad as the Steve Bruce days.
Oh, it is. No. It is because I expected more. Remember, Steve Bruce's last full season, he finished 12th. We're going to finish around that with far better players. With Isak, who's going to go in the summer. With Bruno G, who's going to go in the summer. Why the fuck would you play for Eddie Howe at this point? Why? He is not good enough, bro. It's not a serious move. You're telling me that if Bruno has a 100 mil release cost, someone better than us with a serious manager isn't going to pounce on that? You're kidding me. By the way, he's not been very good this season, Bruno. I agree with you, Terry, in your whole thing. And you're right. I don't like hearing it. But you know what? The facts hurt. Facts hurt. The truth hurts. And you're right. He don't really look like the same player. The consistency levels out of Bruno Guimaraes this season are not good enough. They're not good enough. That release clause was put in there for a reason. He will dip in the summer. And I can't blame him. We need to move much more seriously. And I said it before the game, and Surfer, you probably heard this a bajillion times. If you are a serious manager, you go away to an out-of-form Chelsea side, and you win the game. I thought we were going to win 2-0. I was confident. I'm rarely confident about Newcastle. And guess what? I'm not going to be confident anymore because there's no reason to be anymore. There's none. We're going to get pammed at least 4-0 by Man City on the weekend. We'll lose to West Ham when they come to our ground. Spurs will beat us. You know, Fulham away will probably lose. Like, I see more losses. I see more draws. I see a lot of mediocrity. You know, Longstaff, please go. Almiron, please go. Fabian Schär, I'm done, bro. You can go as well. If you want to be a backup, that's great. But I'm done, bro. I'm done with a lot of the players, and the good ones are going to leave. I want a new look to Newcastle next season. I'm done with the mediocre players and the manager who is a mediocre manager. He done well. That's great. Let's move on. I'm not the sentiment. I'm not with any of this crap. I'm done, bro. I expected a win tonight, and I don't think that's asking for too much. I don't really think that's asking too much. And we did it. And we're going to fail to lose some of these games that should be layups in theory are going to be complete misses. That's the manager who can't organize a defense anymore. The midfield was absolutely god-awful tonight outside of three or four nice moves here and there. Second half, I thought Chelsea were far better. Palmer, very good player. You guys deserve the win. 3-1 down. You know, it was curtains. It was curtains after the first goal. I said after the first goal, that's game over. We ain't taking nothing out of this game. I know how my team operates. I know exactly how my team operates. And for the Chelsea fans out there, I just have a question for you guys. Was that the best second half performance of the season for you guys? Yes or no? Was that the best second half performance of the season for you guys?
Nah.
It's an improvement on past second half performances. That's it.
Yeah.
I'm not saying the bar is high. I'm not saying the bar is
slight
high.
improvement.
The bar is here.
Right.
We just did this. We just went up like.
We just scored 2 goals. That's what we did.
I'm not saying the bar is high. I'm not saying the bar is high for
is
you guys in
very
second
low.
half performances. What I'm saying is you guys had a slight improvement, which is in this context of a crap Chelsea season is very
Well,
good.
one of his subs actually worked for once, so that's improved.
That's true.
So there you go. And so why are lesser teams than Newcastle playing better football than you guys in second halves? Brentford. Why? So I have a lot of issues right now. I'm just furious. I'm completely furious.
Have you got a question?
I'm not confident with these guys. I'm not confident. I realize who I support. We're fucking tinpot, bro. And until we start acting serious, we're fucking tinpot. And I get that. I can live with it.
Sounds like you want Eddie, mate. You want Eddie gone.
I think my terminology. I don't think. Listen, my terminology about controlling the game. I just felt like. I know you said Newcastle had more shots and anything on that, but I'm not coming out of the game thinking, my God, they hit the post or Petrovic's man of the match. I think we cleaned up most of them. Like Enzo cleaned up mostly that second half. Thought it was very good second half, Enzo. But yeah, it was. I just think my main thing coming out of this, I'm glad we won, but the free kicks. Every time Newcastle had a free kick, I was like that because I thought they're going to score. Like that, because it's like honestly, it's
as a neutral watching. Every time both of you attacked, I felt that either team could concede. There's some questions I want to throw out that have come from the audience here. First one says from Ben. It's to you, Steve. Says, is he not going to mention all the injuries Howe has had to deal with?
No.
Every team has, though. That's the thing.
No, I'm not. No, I'm not, because we still have a good enough team out there to beat Chelsea away, or at least get a draw. We still have a good enough team out there to at least beat Chelsea or make it competitive. Bro, I'm not asking for the world. We're 11th, man. We're gonna be 11 soon.
Yeah.
Brighton will finish above us. Chelsea will finish above us, and
What's the difference?
we're gonna finish 11 or 12.
Ben has also said here, how long has this guy been supporting Newcastle for? I think
6
it's a
years.
suggestion that you might have been supporting them since they got taken over.
6 years. 6 years. I remember, bro, the first ever good football I saw was Rafa with Perez and Rondon, and that was only on Chance.
In fairness, he is sitting there. In fairness, Ben, he is sitting there wearing a Newcastle jacket that has Wonga on it, and that sponsorship deal ended in 2017, 2018.
Yeah.
So if you're picking Newcastle to support in 2017, 2018, I don't think we can call that glory hunting. Do you know what I'm saying? That's a madness. That's a madness.
The Surfers know me for a while as well. I supported them.
No, but Steve, you've been calling into the show for about 4 or 5 years, and you were supporting Newcastle ever before they got taken. Oh no, you've been
years.
But but you've been messaging and super chatting and stuff for at least 5 years, and you were a Newcastle fan then.
And you had Shola Amiobi up front when he started supporting them.
This year says, Don, are you still taking Mahalo Mudryk over Martinelli?
Of course he is after tonight.
Of course I am. Of course I am. I'm not swapping him, bro. He just needs to keep getting more minutes, bro. That's it. No one can tell me, no one can look at today, for example, and say there isn't a player in there. Because if you're saying that, you've clearly got an agenda. Clearly, you've got an agenda.
I think he's better in the middle. I really do now. I think he's better in the middle. Out wide, I don't think we've seen it now. With his pace in the middle, that burst, especially now when he comes on. He's just now got to start. Give him a run now and see what happens. Because you're right. Listen, Sterling doesn't deserve to start. Okay, he just doesn't. Okay.
Yeah.
Palmer's going to start. Jackson's going to start. The next one has to be Mudryk. Whether you flick Jackson and Mudryk, switch them during the game.
Andrew, yeah, literally, as soon as he came on, the first bit of movement, yeah, he got the ball on the left and he just linked up with Jackson. 1-2, 1-2,
right
quickly with Jackson. And I'm like, bro,
have you spoken
why
on
is he not
Sterling
starting?
so far?
Bro, I've spoken on grenade football, bro. I've spoken on him. He's got to go. He's got to go.
I'm talking about Sterling. We need to have a conversation about Sterling. This guy, yeah.
Oh,
see that? Was it Etihad Airlines? You know, Man City sponsorship. Yeah, he needs to get a first class ticket to Saudi like tomorrow. Because this guy, yeah, has missed like you, man. Tell me if I'm wrong. Is that not the third 1-on-1 he's missed, or like the third 2-on-1?
Wolves, Aston Villa,
game.
Aston Villa today.
Yeah, Villa. And
Aston Villa when Gusto got sent off. There's been a couple examples where he's done this, bro, and he's 29, and people keep talking about experience. Bro. You know
Steve, you know what the problem is? You know the games he's missed, right? We actually lost some of those games. So I could argue if he's more clinical and he actually does his age, which is be a leader, and you're the experienced player,
that's his job.
He kept us over the line a bit. Let's say he misses that chance and Mudryk doesn't score his goal and he gets killed off the line. We're sitting here with another like 2 points dropped again because of missed opportunities.
No, but we would have found a way to lose. We would have found a way to lose it though. I'm telling you right now.
This is the problem as well. Sterling will be stinking it out every single game, and he'll still bench him next game, like this super chat says.
I agree with that.
He'll bench him. Why?
Bro, I get the same thing.
160. I had to rant this out here. Yeah. Mudryk is not world class. Yeah, we're not saying he's the gravy yet. What we're saying is we can see shoots of potential that he's got the raw attributes to become a good player. You don't get those raw attributes if you don't play the guy. So I'm trying to say you can't get it out of him. So just play him consistently, and then you never know. He might pop up here and there. No one's saying he's going to score. Look at Garnacho, Terry. You've Garnacho, right? It's not every single game this guy's going to do a madness, but he contributes when he can. He's a top player.
Yeah, and I mean we've got an awful system. We've got an awful system as well. And I know someone earlier compared him to the Enzo comment. He's also 19 versus 23 years of age, and 4 years is considering the average football career is 12 years. 4 years is a long time. Do you know what I mean? That's
By the way,
go on, mate.
I was just gonna say, for all the toxic positive merchants, there's one positive I do have tonight, and that's Livramento. I thought he had a pretty good game for me. And I like the fact that he could just drive with the ball right or left. Defensively, I thought he didn't do himself any harm. So I'm very happy with Livramento. That's another player I'm scared of losing in the summer.
Livramento was very good. I thought him and Isak, I thought they stood out and looked really well. I thought they both looked really well.
I think
for you tonight.
I think Bruno G's he's not interested in Newcastle anymore.
Oh, he's going to leave in the summer.
Every time we played you, Steve, well, we've had it.
So yeah,
I can't lie.
Someone will, and here's the thing: I'm not a player FC guy. If Bruno and Isak or whoever else want to leave, be my fucking guest, please. Just reinvest the money wisely, which we've shown we made some good signings. But like, it is what it is. If they want to go, just go. Because I could see Isak at a Real Madrid. I'm not being biased here, but I'm saying he would not look out of place there. He would not look out of place at a Paris Saint-Germain. Or
I'd like Isak at Man United next year on the bench playing back up to Rasmus Højlund. That'd be a nice little signing.
Or you take Livramento as well.
Hey, Terry, you don't learn, you know. You don't learn, you know. You lot are going through the same problems as us with your injuries, bro. Isak will come to your club and never play.
This is true. This is true. He does have I rate him.
No, I rate him. Him and Olise, I don't want Chelsea to touch them right now.
I hear you.
Neto's
another one. Neto again. That man's body is made of biscuits, and I'm not talking like an obnob. You like an obnob, really strong biscuit. You don't get
rich tea,
straight in.
Just throw rich tea in it.
You get like a hobnob. A hobnob is like a marine. You dip it in boiling hot tea for an hour. That thing is still solid. Matty here says this squad is overhyped. Look at the previous squads. I'm just happy we are staying up.
Can I respond to this? Because I've spoken to Matty about this in the group chat. This is what Matty does. Yeah, we know that this team has not got any world-class players in there. We know this. Yeah, But you like to run away from the situation that we're in. We have this squad. We have to talk about these, man. And we have to think about how we can help them and how they can improve. But every single time we speak about them, in your head, you think what we're saying, these guys are world class, these men are this, and these men are that. No, bro. These guys are young and they need to be coached properly. They need to be put in a proper system, and they need a competent manager. But every single time we talk about them, it's they're overhyped. Oh, they're this, they're that. Then you talk about the owners. What's that got to do with the situation right now?
Yeah.
But this is the situation we're in. You keep running from it, bro. I don't get it. I really don't get it.
Call in Matt. The link's in the group chat.
Get him to call in. This guy, every opportunity he'll crash it on his own club. I don't get it. It's really weird.
Yeah, but you got to remember about Matt, right? He's Welsh, and the Welsh are a strange breed of human being.
I'm learning.
So
I can't even remember a famous Welsh Chelsea player. I can't even remember a famous
flag. Got one of the best flags.
I just can't remember it.
Big up Matty in the Welsh. Big up Matty in the Welsh. they're almost a couple of my uncles are Welsh. I mean, they're married in the family. You know the ones that are married in the family, but they're still your uncles and
It's very Royce Stavacy vibes, yeah. League of Gentlemen vibes, yeah.
Yeah, all like Bryn from Gavin and Stacey. Nice, but dim.
Nice, but no internet connection. Nice, but no internet connection.
Yes, exactly. Vindaloo here says, Terry, is this Don or someone who looks like him? Because this guy is spitting facts.
No, listen, I'm just real with
I think that's a compliment.
I know, man. I know. Big up, man. But listen, I haven't been happy for months. You know, I haven't been happy.
He hasn't been.
Here, man.
A few people here are asking about the. Yes, I would. Isak, when I say like, if Isak was fit, he was still on my bench. Rasmus, everyone knows how much I rate Rasmus Højlund. I want a manager that's going to come in and help take him to the next level. I think he's a phenomenal player. I'm taking nothing away from Isak, but I'd like someone of that level to be the backup to Rasmus Højlund, who I think is going to be a superstar
Or
at the right club with the right setup.
Or what you do,
my club with the right setup.
Matty said, Matty just said, I ain't Welsh. I just live there.
That's even worse, bruv. You move there. Do you know what I'm saying? At least if you're born there, that's where you're from, innit? But you imagine you move. No,
I was going to say, he doesn't sound Welsh. He doesn't sound Welsh. I don't know where he sounds. Cumbria.
It's an L take. It's not an L take. Trust me, Rasmus Højlund.
No,
Rasmus. Listen, I love the Welsh, by the way. Welsh is great. A night out in Wales. To all the young men that go out on their little nights out, go to Wales with your boys. Trust me.
Go to Cardiff.
I'll write that down. I'm
going to quote Rory Jennings. It is a delectable medley of nightlife pleasure. Whenever you go out in Wales, it is amazing. So it's
just make up words. Just make up words when you create it.
Yeah. Just say it. There's two places in the UK. If you're going to go out in two places, other than the southeast, right? Don't worry about London. Going out in London, nonsense. I'm from London, but it's nonsense. You want to go to Wales, and you want to go to Newcastle. Those 2 nights out, they are a complete. Well, when in my day, I don't know about now. I'm 38 years old. I don't do the old night scene anymore. I like to stay indoors, watch UFC, and get drunk. But no taxis then, no taxis. But yeah, check out those places. Terry, please respect Isak. Again, I just said
what?
I want to play a
his club.
How about you do this? How about you go get a
I want him at my club, but I just look at Rasmus and I think Rasmus is going to be, but that's not disrespectful. That's great.
See, I think that's a bit crazy, but then again, it's I'm debating a Newcastle. And by the way, I like Højlund when he was at Sturm Graz. I watched him play Champions League qualifiers in some Austrian Bundesliga games. I was like, ooh, this is a good player. And guess what? He was rated to the point where Atalanta, who are very good at recruitment, so when they recruit a player, he's damn good. And then even they bought him, and he done all right there. But yeah, you got a good player on your hands. I just think Isak for me has a bit more. Well, he's got the height down. He's got I think he probably has a better first touch than Højlund, and probably a bit more consistent at the moment. But they're 2 very good players. And what you do, Terry, you sack Ten Hag and you bring in a manager that plays with 2 up top in the new formation that I think is going to be going forward: 3-5-2s, 3-4-1-2s, and 3-4-2-1s and stuff like that. That's what with these availability issues. Yes,
it's also why I wouldn't maybe mind him as a backup player. I know you want a backup player to be fit, but I think if you're trying to start him 38 games a season, his body breaks down. Yeah, sometimes you get one of those players. Like Arsenal fans do this thing where they say, "But Kieran Tierney spent large parts of last season not injured." Yes, he didn't get injured because he wasn't playing.
Yeah,
You know, your injury-prone players don't get injured as much if they're on the bench. You know what I'm saying? But Mudryk is a 62 million signing. The bonuses take it up to 58.5 million. If we win the Champions League or Premier League, if we do, it's repaid by the winner. By winning.
Let me say this: whatever you want to do about the price, whatever you want to haggle on the price, he still hasn't lived up to the 62 million we paid for it.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter if you want to add all the add-ons to him. He hasn't lived up to a 62 million pound signing. Let alone
he was never even worth that in the first.
No. But what I'm saying is all this haggling over price. It doesn't matter. Yeah. He's not lived up to, and that's on him, and that's on who's been coaching him. But he's not lived up for it. You know.
But Andy, the point is, and we've got a new approach to signing players, obviously beforehand. So as those people can't do this, Terry might find it difficult. So you can't look at the price and go, 62 million is what his value was at that time. We paid for potential. So it's like, I know people don't want to look at it that way because they're rivals, but the way I look at it is like, are you going to meet that potential in a realistic time span, 2, 3, 4 years, right? That's how long we've got him for. The rest of his contract is like 7 years long, right? So people don't want to do that, but that's how I'm doing it. Obviously, there's a level you have to reach right now because you can't be 10th and all that, right? But at the same time, that's not his value right now. Like, he's not worth 62 million. So anybody you can't critically think, okay.
No, I don't think it's that. It's just some people, the add-ons and stuff like that. Okay, well, who cares? Whatever price it is, it's 62 or 88. Okay, he has not yet lived up to that.
I think the point that he's making.
I agree with you, Chez. I agree with Chez. I don't think you have to deliver against that. Let's just say it's 88. Let's go to the max. You don't have to deliver in your first year and a bit, all that money back. But I would say that I haven't even seen so far the ability to fulfill that potential regularly enough. It hasn't been like today and it wasn't even a whole game, was the best I have seen him in a Chelsea shirt. Now, I know some of that is on the manager not playing him enough. I absolutely understand. But I wouldn't look at it now. And, you know, if you guys could bring in a better, like, say you get a new manager in the summer, if you were offered the opportunity to bring in, I don't know, and Liao, and go stop him, you guys might go, if you guys would have really seen this kid's potential, because by the way, Cole Palmer's still playing in the same dysfunctional team and he's delivering.
I agree.
Do you get where I'm coming from? So I just
it's like, even though, like, Cole Palmer, he had no experience in even professional football, same as Mudryk hasn't, right? The difference is that, like, Cole Palmer is just a different player. Like, he just plays differently. He hasn't got the same attributes. Mudryk is pure, like, pace, and he needs to work on his dribbling. Whereas Cole Palmer is just a techie player. So that's why people like Don and myself always
confident as well. He's confident.
There's no about his confidence.
That's what I've always liked about him.
But Steve, it's not about his confidence though, because before he touched the ball, I rated him anyway. It's the fact that his ability on the ball, from what we saw at City, we knew it was translatable. Whereas Mudryk, we've only seen clips of him dribbling past a few players, and next thing they bought him for 62 million.
You see, he's dribbling what you just said. We weren't
even expecting Mudryk, but this guy was meant to be going Arsenal.
No, it just came out of nowhere.
It just came out of nowhere. Do you know what I'm saying? And Terry, listen, the conversation that I was having. Oh, go on, Andrew. Go on, land your point, bro. Go on.
Just want to say what you said about Mudryk's dribbling. That's now the standard of dribbling that goal. That's his standard now that he's got to try and get to, because we've seen it now. But like you said, I wouldn't be surprised if he's benched on Sunday against Leicester, because that's what Poch does. He's done it all this season.
That's what Poch does. Yeah, but like the little cameo he had today, bro. I've seen it in parts, even last season. If you remember last season when we played Madrid and he should have started the game and was all mad when he came on and he done well. Yeah. Remember he came on last year against Liverpool away from home. I was at the debut as well. He played well. I've seen like today's sort of performance without the goal, like on the ball where it looks like he's a baller. And there's other games he comes on and it looks like Sterling. You know what I mean? For me, Terry, going forward, like I've asked this question to a lot of people. Do you think that is too far gone right now for the owners to rectify their mistakes, in your opinion?
Say that again.
Do you think it's too far gone in terms of the mistakes that we've made? We can all acknowledge that they've made a lot of mistakes in terms of their in terms of what they've done. Yeah, obviously they've got the ambition and whatnot, but they've gone and bought all these young players. Do you think that's a little bit too late to rectify their mistakes?
No,
never too late.
No, it's in the sense of for some players they may need to go. I look at Sterling as a great example. When you signed him, I thought it was going to be a good signing for you. But he, at his age and the type of player he is, he needs to be in a really functional setup to deliver high chance creation, etc. So someone like him has to go. I think your manager has to go. I just don't personally think he's good enough. But this summer, you add 4 25, 26, 27-year-old level players of a really good pedigree and experience to this team, improve the style and the system and the coaching, and you will look an exponentially better team next year. Like you can, the thing with Chelsea is that if this happens for another 2, 3, 4 years, then it becomes really hard to undo because it becomes hot. You're bringing in less money. Other teams leave you far behind. You become a team that's less attractive to join, etc. But no, I think you guys can still rectify this. In terms of challenging for Premier Leagues consistently, that's going to be a 2-3 year process. But in terms of improving and being a team that plays exciting football, look at Spurs. This time last year, we were all laughing at them. Now they're playing really nice football. They're probably going to make the Champions League.
Definitely.
You had Aston Villa last season before Unai Emery came in, like they were going to get relegated. Now they may make the Champions League. That's how quickly those mistakes were rectified. But it's about having the right manager and the right ethos. And I just don't think Chelsea have the right manager, and the ethos is not. And I know a lot of Chelsea fans still want to defend Poch, but I mean, listen, take my opinion with a pinch of salt if you want. But just like Unai Emery, I know I've just praised them. Even if you improve your football with Poch, I still think when it comes to the cold, hard light of day and getting you over the line, I still think you're going to fall short with him. The fact that he hasn't even built an exciting brand of football, which I think everyone in their dogs thought he would have done. Everybody in their dog thought the football would have improved by now. And the fact that that hasn't happened, it's such a red flag.
He catfished us. He catfished all of us.
Coming in, yeah. One sec. Sorry. His expectations coming in were everyone thought at a minimum he would improve the young players and get a style of player that looks attractive on the eye. And then the first few games, it was all right. And then I think West Ham away, I went to the game. I think I came on the terrace after and everyone came on crashing it on Chelsea. That was like the first glimpse of like his managerial tactics and the way. And since then, we've just been up and down. And no one expected this. No one can sit here and say, Poch coming in, this would have happened. No one was expecting this. So I think we're able to completely ignore the fact that a new manager coming in can change our fortunes and a few signings here and there. I think if you ignore that, you're arrogant. But at the same time, I'm not going to be deluded and say it's all going to drastically change as well. So I'm more in the case of I'll literally see how it comes, right? So
I think you can change it. It's like
just got to love Poch more. That's all. Just got to love him more, like he said.
It's why as angry as I am at my club right now, because we're changing what's going on behind the scenes. We're probably going to change manager. I've got something to look forward to. I don't know what it's going to be. I don't know who's going to come in. I don't know how good or bad or how much the improvement is going to be, but it's something to say, okay, I'm excited about it. Come the summer, say Poch leaves and you bring in Alonso or you bring in Inzaghi. I'm throwing out names here. And you go out there and you sign Osherman. You go out there and sign who's a good level 25, 26-year-old defender. Name me someone. Top of my head blank.
Alessandro Bastoni.
You sign Bastoni. You sign
Skriniar from PSG.
Someone like the players of that ilk type thing.
Yeah, Martinelli.
Go out there and sign some really good quality players of a good age. You bring them in. You start playing nice football. You start scoring goals. Defensively, you become stronger. It doesn't mean year one you're fixed, but it gives you something as fans to say, I can get behind this. I can see a future in it. And I think sometimes there are a lot of us, and I've done it before, where you see, I did it under Ollie for too long. And I did it because I loved Ole Gunnar Solskjaer because he's a genuine legend. I watch it, and in my heart of hearts, I think, is this really going to get any better than this? But publicly, I back it because I want to be seen as a good United fan. I want to get behind him. But in reality, people like me, all we really did was keep him at the club longer than he should have been here, which stopped us from progressing. And although we still had the same owners and not much would have changed us, you just got to call things out and be honest, I think. There's some comments that have come through here. Poch baited me by that pre-season.
You catfished us all, man.
We've barely seen Nkunku kick a ball, and Lavia and Fofana are a giant wild card. James got the surgery. Next year could be good.
That's true.
Yeah, we're missing a lot of key players. It's true.
We're missing a lot of key players who do have experience.
You need a striker that fits your system as well, whether that's Jonathan David or Osimhen or whoever. But keep hammering down on Jonathan David because he's now at 14 goals in Liga. That's second only about Mbappe now.
It's even like in your midfield. I know Lavier's coming in. Go out and sign a Paulinho this summer. That's the problem. I'm just sort of sitting there thinking about who, because I weren't thinking about it before the show. Like, you go out and sign players of, I think he's like 29, maybe he's a little bit younger than that, but
20. I think it's 28.
Yeah, just some players of that, just older, that have been there, that have done it, that have worn the t-shirt, that are coming in and understand the situation. So even though you signed, the irony is you signed some good names the previous summer, but I think they came into Chelsea expecting you to be Chelsea of old, where you're killing it. I think now if you're signing people, they know your situation, and say you signed a Koulibaly this time around, I think he's coming in knowing you're not the finished article, and that he's going to have to do certain type of job and certain type of work. He just was a bad signing. Thiago is pretty good though. Smash the like button, people. Thank you, Luke Skywalker. I appreciate that.
And then Terry, on the points that you mentioned before, yeah, I agree with a lot of what you've said, right? For me, we definitely need to bring in some seasoned pros. They don't need to be 35, 20, 26 with a couple years experience in the Prem or playing at a high level. And if you're going to go buy young players, please don't go buy any more Mudryks that need a lot of work. Please go buy me Cole Palmers. Go buy me Gustos. Go buy me young players like that are young but are ready to play in the Prem. Do you know what I mean? Where we don't need to do all this groundwork and whatnot, because we ain't got the time for that, bro. We're too big of a club to be, building people up from the beginning. You know what I'm saying? That's what you've got to do now. If you're going to bring in young guys, I need to see polished young players. You know what I mean?
No, I think you're absolutely right. I think absolutely right when you go out and say that. I really do. It's just getting that balance right, and looking out there again. Another midfield player that I think that you guys should look at is like Lucas. I mean, again, it might be hard with your league, but Lucas Paqueta. Like they're just,
I love him.
There are players out there. There are players out there that you just look
Chelsea,
at.
Man.
Yeah, that you look at and go, okay, Barella of Inter. Now, someone said no way Chelsea can get them. I think people are chatting nonsense. The Premier League is a draw. You're a big club. In my opinion, it's plausible still to go out there and sign, individuals of that ilk. But that's just me. Look, I want to say thank you to everyone that's tuned in to the show tonight. Everyone who's super chatted, everyone who's given us their views and opinions. Panel, brilliant as ever. We're back tomorrow. Straight Facts. It's earlier than usual tomorrow at 2:30 with LB and Dan Potts. I think they want to do it. I think they're both doing watch-alongs later for the Arsenal stuff. So they're busy. So we're going live a little bit earlier. And then, of course, we're live after Porto Arsenal tomorrow. So make sure you're tuning in for that. We will be discussing Chelsea on Straight Facts tomorrow, I'm sure. Until next time, take care. Goodbye. God bless. And I'll see you all again very, very